Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Update. It is Monday, June the 10th, 2024. And it was a pleasant day, though we did have a decent amount of cloud cover, especially as we got toward the afternoon. This is an old satellite image, an old satellite loop I kind of kept in the computer. Let's refresh this and make this a longer satellite loop so we can see the cloud cover again that did develop across our area this afternoon. Like I said, we did have... we started off with sunshine, and then we went partly sunny around noon, and then by the afternoon it was fairly mostly cloudy. It wasn't completely overcast, however, so I'll show you what the clouds look like. You can see just billowing clouds in the sky there. Another look at it there. So we had a lot of these, again, these stratocumulus clouds around throughout the day, blocking the sun, especially as we got toward the afternoon. So, but other than that, it was a very comfortable, very pleasant day. I had a feeling we'd have some of the clouds in this upper level low that is over us. So let's go look at our observations. I didn't think I loaded the weather and hazard map up here. I forgot to do that. So let's do that, and we'll take a look at what we got going on today across the area, and it is nice out. Of course, it's not in the 60s where I'm at, but temperatures have dropped into the mid 60s. 58 in West Hampton already, or is that 59? 59 in West Hampton, 63 at Islip. You notice the wind has shifted to the west southwest. This was a sea breeze that did wind up developing late in the day, very late in the day, but for the most part, the winds were from the west northwest until around. Let's see, around 5 o'clock, that's when the wind started shifting off to the southwest. Generally, you can see low dew points throughout the day. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s, very comfortable out there. And you can see the breezy conditions that we did have today across the area. Temperatures pretty pleasant out there. So let's look at our highs and lows across the area. And highs generally got in the mid-70s across Long Island. And the city was more like in the upper 70s. Jersey, closer to 80 degrees in Toms River. Lows generally in the, let's see, we had a lot of mid-50s in some areas. But 61 for a low at Farmingdale, 57 for a low at Islip at West Hampton, got all the way down to 48, so they had some radiational cooling. City was only in the low 60s, and Miller Park got down to 52, so West Hampton kind of wins that battle. Definitely a little cooler in West Hampton than it is in Miller Park, but sometimes it's the other way around. It all just depends on the setup in the atmosphere, generally speaking. So looking at our weather map, you'll see we got that high pressure that is building in. You can see that low and the little trough lines that come through. That's what brings the instability, cloudiness. We have a stall front over the south. This is going to bring a lot of rain to Florida. That front kind of goes up into the western, into the Rockies here. That's where your focus for the wet weather is for the most part. But we have this big dome of high pressure over us that will keep us dry for much of this week. So definitely a very welcome change from all the rainy weather. Now Florida is going to be dealing with that rainy weather. So let's look at the CONUS view here, and you'll see what we've got. Make this a little bit bigger here, and you can see the stall frontal boundary and the tropical moisture that's already starting to develop over Florida. See the showers and thunderstorms develop. This stall front is going to be a focal point for all that moisture to be riding along and bringing a lot of rain to Florida, and they're going to be dealing with rainy misery for this next week, and they could see a lot of rain out of it. You can see this is where the thunderstorm activity is. Looks like North and South Dakota into Nebraska. And then we've got the heat dome, of course, in the west. Here's a heat dome. Let's take a look at the west. Here we can look at the west. Let's see, U.S. Pacific coast, so we can show you the heat dome here that we have here, and you can see not even many clouds here, but it's hot. It's hot here, and this is your heat dome right here. See a big ridge. It goes all the way up into Oregon and even part of Washington. So you can see that. That's going to mean the warm weather is going to be over there. So we go to our weather and hazards map. We'll pull this out. We'll show you the heat that you have over that they're dealing with over there, and you can see Again, we've got these excessive heat warnings in effect for parts of Arizona, including Phoenix. Yep, looks like Phoenix is involved in that. We got an excessive heat watch for southern New Mexico, and that heat is spreading into Nevada and, of course, California as well, and even all the way up into Oregon, probably dealing with some heat. Still, it looks like, take a look and see what they dealt with here in Oregon today. That's not too bad. Sun River, but some areas might have gotten hotter than that. 82 Earth, that's not too bad, actually. So there doesn't seem like they're dealing with, sometimes they could deal with they've dealt with really hot weather, but luckily that hasn't been the case so far. The heat is more further to the south. This is where you're dealing with the hot temperatures still in the 90s. And let's see what Flagstaff got up to today. All right, Flagstaff got up to 80. Oh, that's Grand Canyon. That's not Flagstaff. Flagstaff is... It's not down here. Where is it? I'll find it. Oh, there it is. They got up to 82. All right, it's not too bad. They're in the mountains, so they avoid it. But, lower elevations, definitely dealing with some heat. Got a few severe thunderstorm warnings, but you'll notice I wouldn't say, you sort of notice what's absent here. All right, you have one area where there's a severe thunderstorm watch. Not a whole lot of severe weather going on, unfortunately, tonight. So there's a break from that. Do have air quality alerts, though, in effect for Texas. Probably due, it says, an ozone action alert, but I'm sure it's not helped by some of the smoke from the wildfires burning in Mexico and Central America. And then we have looks like a flood advisory, a flood watch for southern Florida because of all the rain they're expected to get with this stall front that's going to be bringing. Then we have something red around here. What is this? Excessive heat watch for Puerto Rico, believe it or not. So they're dealing with some extreme heat in Puerto Rico, it looks like. Let's see what they're dealing with. High got up to 93 there today, so that's kind of hot for them. So they're going to be dealing with, and it could get even hotter tomorrow over there. So there's definitely some heat out there. But luckily for us, we're not dealing with any of that. Looking at the weather map again, you see that high pressure that's going to be building in. Day 2, you can see the high pressure remains over us. Day 3, still over us. You can see there's a little bit of a trough that's going to bring still some shower chances perhaps into New England. That may keep some clouds around that we may have to deal with. You can see that stall front there, and you see if we go to the QPF again, highlighting Florida here as we go into day 1 through 2, 1 through 3. Look at this, 1 through 5. How about over a foot of rain in parts of South Florida? So this is going to cause a lot of flooding. They've actually been in somewhat of a drought, but it's still going to cause a lot of flash flooding, hanging all this rain at once. You see that's where the rain is. So you can see where it's kind of set up pretty much over Florida with that tropical moisture that they're going to be dealing with here. Going to the Storm Prediction Center, we have only a marginal risk for severe weather and mainly in South Dakota going into Nebraska, parts of Colorado, and then another slight risk area in West Texas. So like I said, it's calmed down a lot from what we've had, but we still had one reported tornado today and 65 reports of wind and 27 reports for hail. And then we go into tomorrow, and it goes to similar areas again. But you'll notice that the marginal bumps up. There's actually a marginal risk in northeastern North Carolina and even parts of southern New Jersey with the general thunderstorm risk because of this disturbance that's going to be passing. So if we go back to the Weather Prediction Center, which I guess I just closed that out. Go back to the Weather Prediction Center and move this to tomorrow. Again, you'll see that there's a little bit of a little trough that's moving in over that area. You see that trough, so that could trigger some showers and thunderstorms. But there won't be any issues for us, except maybe clouds. Looking at the radar across the country, nothing really going on here, but you'll notice, there's some showers and thunderstorms that are over Virginia, and a few isolated well into Canada. And then we've got this line in North Dakota, nothing in South Dakota, nothing crazy. But for the most part, it's calm. We're not seeing the kind of severe weather that we were dealing with before, which is welcome. So before we go look at the models, let's just go into our climate statistics for the day. Our high was 77 and our low was 58, and we were 1 degree above normal for the day, so pretty close to normal for the day at Islip Central Park. Got up to 75 and a low at 62, and 1 degree below normal, so fairly close to normal for the day regarding our weather. So let's look at the models now, and we'll go right here. And we'll look at the GFS here at this is the 060. I don't know how that happened. All right, refreshed it now. So here's the latest GFS, and you see that high building in. Though tomorrow you'll see there's a little area of weakness over the mid-Atlantic, but we'll be staying dry. That high pressure staying over us. You can see that high is going to stay over us, and that's going to keep that front stuck over Florida. And they're going to be dealing with a lot of this rain here. Meanwhile, we're staying dry. The high eventually takes more of a Bermuda high position, which is going to bring in the warm weather. And then it almost looks like the GFS is trying to develop something here. Perhaps our first tropical system off the southeast coast, as high pressure does wind up building in for Saturday into Sunday for us. But you'll see once that high moves into a position next week, that's when we're going to start seeing the warm weather. But we're going to mainly go over this week. You'll see it's mainly dry. It's not until we get to Friday that we start seeing some rain chances with that cold front. So it's kind of interesting that this is kind of developing this. 12Z run is not, but again, there's a lot of tropical moisture over here, very low air pressure. And even the air pressures here aren't that high, by the way. It's another thing why we had the cloud cover. If we look at islip, for instance, I almost forgot to do this. You'll see that the air pressure is 29.75, so not even above 30 inches. So that's why we have a somewhat of an unstable cyclonic flow, which is why we had, again, all that cloud cover that we had today. You can see right here, again, a lot of that cloud cover that we had. A lot of stratocumulus in the sky, and that's what caused all that cloud cover. So anyway, let's get back to the models here. So it's a good week ahead, and the weekend looks pretty decent as well. So let's look at the HRRR model. Have most of it now, except for the last two. So just to show you that shower activity that could actually looks like it's trying to develop something over Long Island, perhaps a sprinkle, maybe, but it's mainly going to be over the mid-Atlantic area, maybe extreme southern New Jersey. We get into tomorrow, you'll see that shower activity develop again, though. You can see what's going on here. We're getting like almost a thermal trough, so this isn't so much an issue for Long Island, but inland areas. It's showing a couple of shower chances here over, perhaps a chance of a shower, maybe even a small thunderstorm over southern New Jersey, the Jersey Shore from Ocean County southward. And again, that's due to a little convergence. We still have that cyclonic flow. The air pressures aren't that high. So that's probably where we're going to see that chance. And then Wednesday, we see it again a little bit over Long Island. So we're still seeing that instability. This high pressure is not all that strong. We still have that unstable look to the atmosphere. So let's look at a sounding. You'll see what I mean. Do 17 to Z. You see the lines are already touching. So we have that a little bit of that instability that we've got in the air, and definitely some moisture as well. So that's why you see those lines touching, which could mean a decent amount of clouds for tomorrow. Let's move this out a little more, but it is showing a decent amount of clouds for tomorrow. So once the morning will probably start off sunny, and then the clouds will build again toward the afternoon, much like today. So let's look at our dew points and wind flow. And the winds are light tonight, so we did have that sea breeze that did. We don't have it here. We never got it here in Mineola. If we were to look at some observations here, and I'll go to the Wonder map here, you'll see we never got it here, but I will show you that they did get it on the South Shore, but I don't think we got it here. So let's take a look here. So let's see what we got here. It's winds from the northwest. So I don't think that the winds ever shifted to the south here, but they did on the South Shore. Let's see. So pretty steady temperatures, and the wind direction stayed pretty much northwest. So no sea breeze for us. However, if you were on the South Shore, again, if you were in Wansaw, you got that sea breeze. But again, you had to be on the South Shore to get it. And you can see, yep, there it is right there. Very, very, right around 5:30. You can clearly see it came through. It went from 73 down to the upper 60s. You see the dew point went up with that sea breeze frontal passage right there. But again, we never got that here. It never really made it to Mineola. Kind of stayed in the, but it was still cool. I realized the sea breeze really, it dropped the temperature a few degrees, but it wasn't that drastic of a drop really. So let's make our way back to the models here. So as we go into the night, you'll see the winds are light. Now, a question, of course, is the skies. If we have more clouds tonight, that may help inhibit radiational cooling, but if the skies stay clear, which right now it still looks fairly clear over West Hampton as well as Miller Air Park, we'll see that radiational cooling again. So temperatures tonight, for most of us, will probably drop. Well, we'll look at the temperatures in a moment. We're looking at dew points. You see the dry area, so temperatures will probably drop. If you're not in an urbanized area, probably you'll see 50s again. Most of you will be able to turn off the air conditioner. Of course, not me. So you can see we start off tomorrow with a light northeast. It comes east, and then an onshore flow for tomorrow, which will keep the temperatures cool. And then you see the onshore flow develop, brings in a little more moisture. And then you'll see, again, the winds go back to the west Wednesday night. And that means we're probably not going to see the same level of radiational cooling tomorrow night. And then for Wednesday, dew points still stay low, but you'll notice the winds are more westerly. They do become southerly later on, but that means temperatures will be a lot warmer on Wednesday as a result. So let's look at our temperatures here. And you'll see tonight, probably see, maybe not Jersey, probably 60s there it's showing, but I still think some spots will cool off into the 50s, especially in the Pine Barrens. A lot of us will probably have our lows in the upper 50s to around 60. Then tomorrow, temperatures similar to today. I think we'll see mid-70s, mid to maybe upper 70s if you're more toward Jersey, but you'll see. And again, there's, that sea breeze that's going to come in. So you can see that sea breeze could set off perhaps some activity, especially over New Jersey. You can see even here looking at the air temperatures, you see that sea breeze come in, lower the air temperatures down as we get toward the evening. And then tomorrow night, still showing fairly cool temperatures, lows around 60 degrees. And then Wednesday, that's when we're going to start warming things up a little bit with that westerly wind. And we'll see temperatures get probably closer to 80 degrees on Wednesday. Though right now, this model isn't showing too much heat. Let's go to the GFS and see what this shows. So even the GFS, not showing too much heat, which probably means there's a decent amount of cloud cover, but it also is showing a southerly wind as well. Let's look at the sounding on this. Yeah, it's showing cloud cover, so there could be a decent amount of cloud cover on Wednesday too. And then we move this into Thursday. You see the southerly flow set up, but it's a southerly flow, so that means Long Island would stay cooler while Jersey warms up. You can see the humidity sort of starting to rise on Thursday. And as we get into Friday, ahead of that cold front, that's when we'll have a pretty strong southwesterly flow that'll warm things up, especially inland. But you can see, again, it's southwesterly. Could be a decent sea breeze for Long Island. And then here comes the front coming through on Saturday. The dry rail builds in for Saturday and Sunday. So let's look at our temperatures. And you'll see the temperatures again. It's Thursday that we start seeing things heat up. Long Island, again, with that southerly flow, we'll still probably have mid-80s inland, but if you're on the South Shore, it'll be cooler, especially toward the afternoon. Jersey, upper 80s to potentially 90 degrees in some areas, and if you don't do it on Thursday, Friday you might do it, especially in Jersey. But for Long Island, again, cooler with that southerly flow that we're seeing. So let's look at the skies. Go to that. Well, let's move this along here. So here we are. And you'll see what happens tomorrow. It has a lot of clouds over us. You'll see that, a lot of clouds. And then you can see those clouds, but they're mainly over the land, which is indicating this is definitely instability related here. And then as we move this into Wednesday, you see, again, plenty more clouds over us. And Thursday, probably increasing high clouds. And Friday, not really showing that much in the way of clouds. There'll probably be high clouds. and then we get this front through, and then we should clear it out by Saturday. All right, so let's look at some of the other models, like the RGM, which is the one I prefer to look at. So let's look at this one. So tonight, you'll see that there's like a little bit of a wave here, like a little instant, call it a wave or whatever, but a little something here that's going to cause more cloudiness for tomorrow. You can see, especially over Jersey, and then you can see those clouds kind of pop up now. This could be some mid-level and high in here as well, but it looks like it's mostly of the stratocumulus. I'll just say cumulus at this point. For tomorrow, you can see again that it's popping up mainly over the land. This is self-destructive sunshine kind of deal. And then once the sun goes down, it dies off as we get toward the evening. And then Wednesday, we'll have probably more in the way of cirrus, and then maybe some cumulus as well. And then Thursday, believe that the model goes all the way out to Thursday, you can see a few high clouds, but maybe less in the way of that cumulus development. Let's look at the NAM. This is one of the model we could look at here as far as clouds go. I'll go back to the 18Z run for this, and you'll see again it's showing most of the cloud development inland Long Island, not seeing as much of it tomorrow. And Wednesday, we'll definitely see a lot more clouds of all kinds on Wednesday, but it should stay dry. Now, I'm just curious of what the NAM is doing here for precipitation for tomorrow, if it's developing any of those isolated. It's not quite as bullish as the HRRR, but could be an isolated shower, perhaps, over Jersey. Perhaps. But other than that, we have a pretty good week up ahead. A few more days of comfortable weather, and then things start heating up on Thursday. All right, have a good night.